Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, join me, Rob McConnell, as together we'll investigate the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology here on the X-Zone Radio TV show on XZBN and the X-Zone TV channel on Simul TV. Since 1990, the X-Zone Radio TV show has been the place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. Together, we'll investigate UFOs, aliens, ghosts, Bigfoot, psychic phenomenon, lake monsters, conspiracy theories, government cover-ups, the truth embargo, alien abductions, ESP, haunted locations from around the world, and so much more. With over 28 years of broadcasting and more than 4,500 individual guests, the X-Zone is truly a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality, as evidenced by the credibility, integrity, and professionalism of the guests that we bring to our international audience. If you have seen a UFO, had a close encounter, seen a ghost, Bigfoot, lake monster, or a story that you would like to share or have investigated, contact me, Rob McConnell, by sending me your email to xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, or you can call toll-free 1-800-610-7035, extension 143, and on Skype, X-Zone Radio TV. For more information on the X-Zone Radio TV show with yours truly, Rob McConnell, visit www.xzoneradiotv.com or www.xzonetvchannel.com or simultv.com and xzbn.net. Until next we meet here in the X-Zone from our broadcast center and studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, always remember, X-Zone Nation, keep your eyes to the sky and your heart in the light.
To know the name, know the genius in you, where in a single moment you can recognize your brilliance and change your life. This is a transformational hour that covers an array of topics that demonstrate how individuals use their native talents, of course, as we're looking at their names, to look at the ordinary in extraordinary ways. I just want to remind you one more time that Albert Einstein once said that everybody's a genius. Why would one of the smartest people on the planet declare that everyone is a genius unless he knew that one to be true? I'm your host, Sharon Lynn Wyeth, creator of Namology Science and author of Know the Name, Know the Person. And in each weekly show, you'll hear the fascinating ways that other people have discovered the genius in themselves and what they were able to accomplish because of it. At the end of tonight's show, you're going to hear clues that show up in Diane's name that you might have in your name as well, that would indicate you have some of the same talents that she has. So how does someone express their creative talents, and how does someone share those gifts with others in such a way that everybody benefits? Our expert tonight is Diane Buirley, who has developed her genius in the area of healing the physical body. Now, Diane Buirley has studied so many alternative methodologies for healing that people consider her the walking encyclopedia on possibilities of how to heal the physical body. She was a hairdresser who then studied massage, but not just any ordinary massage, but massage that can be enhanced in different ways, like utilizing electricity to enhance the healing process. She then continued to study many, many different modalities, and that she has learned how miraculous some of those alternative modalities can be. And she's going to share with us tonight the importance of regular body care and what that actually entails. Welcome to Know the Name, Know the Genius in You radio show, Diane.
Thank you.
Diane, you were a hairdresser and then became a massage therapist. Then you kept studying different modalities. What were all of the various modalities that you have learned?
Oh my gosh, there are so many. I started with hair because I wanted to be able to, stay home with my kids. And then I ended up in a divorce, and I thought, go to school and mess up their hair. So I went to a massage school. And when I was there, they showed so many different things I could do. And I grew up in a family where we go, where my mom would constantly teach us different things, and she'd bring in people that would teach us iridology and herbology and things like that. And I think when I was in massage school, they taught us cranial sacral. And when I was a young girl, I fell out of a swing set and I landed on my head, and I had a learning disability. And my mom took me to a guy who did cranial sacral and moved the bones. He did some mouth work, and my bones in my head moved. And like in 3 months, I went up 3 grade levels. And I always thought I had a learning disability. It was really difficult. But then I was in massage school, and I was taking a cranial class, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is what I really want to know, because I knew the value of what it had done in my life and how it had changed my life. And
let me interject for just a second.
Sure.
That my child, when she was 1, we moved to Japan, and I couldn't get help for her until her 3rd birthday. So on her 3rd birthday, I went and tried to get help because she wasn't speaking, and she wasn't talking in any kind of language we could understand. She wasn't picking up the sounds. She had a hearing deficiency. And the bottom of it was that when we came back to the States, we put her in cranial sacral therapy, and she was in it for 3 months and got 90% of her hearing. So keep going. I just wanted to say, yes, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Keep going.
It's amazing. And so I actually, I did hair for a while and then massage on the side. And I started to pick up some of the modalities. And anyway, with cranial sacral, my sister's little girl was born without a soft spot in her head. And she was about, 6 weeks old, and her head was actually going square because it had nowhere to grow. And so they flew me back to Tennessee, and I had learned baby cranial. And I spent about a week with them, and it was so amazing because it was like I walked in there, and this little girl was like, I've been waiting for you to come see me. And and I just sat there, and I was able to do some of the baby cranial, and the bones in her head actually unlocked. And within a week, her head was normal, and everything came back to normal. And she's about 5 years old now. And it's really amazing. And she's super smart. She didn't have a disability. And, so it's been really fun kind of watching some of those miracles happen. And so then I actually, with hair, I ended up, I had a client that had cancer, and I worked on her, and we ran into a doctor that was a cancer doctor, and he let me come out to his place, and it was fun because I got to fix people's hair and work on them and do body work. And then I also got into some emotional work because I had an uncle that also had cancer. He had 28 tumors on his liver, and I didn't know what to do. And I took him to a friend that did light and sound therapy. And he came out, they had sent him home with 2 months to live. They're just like, take all the pain medicines you want, do whatever you want, you're going to die. And anyway, I took him to a friend, and she did light and sound therapy and worked with him. And he came out, and he had hope in his eyes. And I thought, I don't know what she did. I don't know how much it will cost. I will make it work. I will do whatever I have to do to learn whatever that was so I can, maybe help my uncle. And so I went and learned this light and sound therapy, and it did a lot of oriental stuff where I learned a lot of the meridians and the meridian pathways, but they had a light pen that would go in and basically open up some of those blocked energies. And we would go work on my uncle, and he was always in pain, but when we worked on him, he would be out of pain for 2 days. And he didn't take any pain pills. The only thing he had to do was ibuprofen. And he lived about 1.5 years. And then they wanted him kind of off of all alternative so that they could kind of try some new medicine. And he just gave up. And at that point, you just love them through. But I learned so much about meridian pathways and about how the energy runs through the body and how sound and light can really, I think it's kind of like almost a medicine of the future. And so I kind of brought that in balance with what I do with body work. And so when I have people that I'm working on, sometimes, I need light. So I studied a lot of different lights. I have an aunt that she went to all these places that did light therapy, and she's like, oh, this is the best one. No, this is the best one. So I kind of watched her for a while. I kind of sit in the background. I'm like, I just want one that works. I want something that when I have a client, it's going to work every single time. And so I studied all the different things that come along with light. And I kind of bring it in balance, because sometimes when I use lights on people and they've had bruising, or they have sore muscles, or their jaw, TMJ up in the jaw, I can put lights on it and it relaxes it, or it goes deep enough that I can get in there and get things moving. And so when I kind of tweak it with cranial sacral with a little bit of light, it's pretty awesome. But with my uncle, it was really fun kind of watching him, because he didn't want to look at the emotional. He wanted to be that one person that, that he was the miracle person. He did it, but he didn't want to look at the emotional. And I know the emotional is really balanced. And after he passed, I was in a class, and this MT Mortar, Dr. Mortar came into Utah, and he was up on stage, and they were just showing us how this BEST treatment works. And BEST stands for bioelectronic synchronization. And it was the first time I'd seen a positive emotion actually have a negative impact on somebody. And he called it a bushwhack. And that means that, say when you were a little girl and you were like loving life and drawing pictures all over your wall, and your mom comes in and she says, oh my gosh, what have you done? You've ruined my house. And all of a sudden it's not safe anymore to be happy. And so this little girl grows up, and every time she tries to be happy, her neck hurts. And she gets a pain in her neck. And anyway, so this lady was up there, and she'd had neck issues for years, and her word was enjoyment. And he took this word and worked it with some brain body patterns, and had her walk the stage, and she could turn her head. And
I think that is just absolutely amazing. You've learned upwards of 20 modalities. And so do you have a favorite?
Well, I kind of specialize in the bioelectric massage.
Okay. We're going to get into more of that after the break, the bioelectric massage, because we need to take that break. Stay tuned to Know the Name, Know the Genius in You, which is being heard on xzbn.net and X Zone Broadcast Network, and on the website, knowthename.com. Now, after the break, we're going to find out how Diane determines what modality is best for each person. Stay tuned.
It's hard to listen to the news without realizing we're living in volatile, unprecedented times. Yet never has there been such an opportunity to transform the human condition. As old structures fail, where can we find the guidance to co-create a better way? Find Your Path Home is an ever-evolving, leading-edge information, education, and healing resource center designed to support and guide you on your path to unity and enlightenment. Based on sound principles employed by shaman worldwide, we provide techniques that can support you through the current transitions, offering online shamanic classes, international long-distance shamanic healing sessions, complimentary Mission Evolution radio episodes and Stairway to Heaven TV vignettes, seminars, retreats, and much more. All of this can be found on findyourpathhome.com.
So I was watching the X Zone TV channel last night when I was abducted by aliens, and they kept repeating to me over and over again, simultv.com, simultv.com.
What's simultv.com?
That's what I asked them. They had it written on the side of their UFO.
How do you spell that?
UFO.
No, I mean simultv.com.
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 Right. simultv.com.
Interesting that you were abducted by aliens in a simultv.com UFO last night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Now that you mention it, I remember now last night I was awakened from a deep sleep. My great-grandmother was standing there. She said she'd come from the hereafter to tell me about simultv.com. She even spelled it out for me. simultv.com, sonny boy.
simultv.com.
simultv.com, sonny boy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Guys, you'll never guess what my psychic guru just told me.
simultv.com.
Exactly. Are you guys psychic too?
Of course.
We all know about simultv.com. simultv.com.
Welcome back. I'm Sharon Lynn Wyeth, and you're listening to Know the Name, Know the Genius in You, which is being heard on xzbn.net and knowthename.com. Our guest tonight is Diane Buirley, and she doesn't have a website. She would prefer that you just write her directly with her name, Diane. Buirley is spelled B like boy, Uirley, and then it's at yahoo.com. Now, Diane, you were saying that your favorite had to do with electricity. Tell us about that.
Okay, so when about 6 or 7 years ago, my sister's husband had a stroke at age 36. And anyway, he had this delayed response, and they took him to a guy that was up in Colorado, and this guy used electricity for his stroke, and they're just like, it was amazing, it worked really good. And my sister, she's like, you've got to go meet this guy. And I'm like thinking, oh great. So he was just really patronizing her. And I didn't go straight to see him right away. I went to go see another lady that had trained under him just to kind of see what this electricity thing was. And I thought, great, another machine. I don't really want it, but I was just kind of patronizing my sister and trying to, see what it was. And anyway, they went down, and this lady showed me what it looked like and how to run the massage. And it runs the meridians of the massage. And the electricity actually has a language, and she could feel certain places that he had emotion. And he went through like a little bit of this emotional release. And when we had driven down there, it was like he had this delayed response, like you'd ask him a question and then he'd hesitate and then answer, and he couldn't remember. It was really kind of jobbled. And in one treatment with the bioelectric massage and her just working with that and doing this emotional release with it, we drove home and there was no delayed response. And there was also another lady at the same time that we were working on, and she was showing us, that had Parkinson's. And this lady came in really shaking and could hardly sit on the table. And they kind of ran this bioelectric massage where you're running a frequency through your fingers. And the body actually, it would pick up, it basically had a language. And you could feel where there was different places on the body that were tense or had issues or different things like that in it. And this lady got off the table, and where she was really shaky, she was like noticeably better from Parkinson's. And I was like, what the heck? And I'm like, I don't know what this is, but I just jumped in. I'm like, I just gotta get this machine. So I ended up going to Colorado and training with this guy. And he only trains hands-on. And so for the last 5 or 6 years, I have been going to Colorado every year for like a weekend or two. And he brings in people who are paraplegic or really bad arthritis or different things like that that are just car accidents, like where the scar tissue, he was shrinking it and it was disappearing. And anyway, I've been training with him, and I love the bioelectric massage because when I do it, there's a language with the body, and I know exactly where the issues are. And I see people, like I work on people who are like rodeo clowns, and they get up and they walk, and it's like they have no pain. And it's not 100%, but it absolutely works on every person every single time I work on them. And I look for modalities that I could see a difference. And anyway, that's probably one of my favorites. That's the one that people come in and get. And then the emotional stuff is I will work with that on the side, because I think there's always an emotional component to a lot of people's things. But the bioelectric, yeah.
I will confess that I met you at the doctor's office that you spoke about at the first part of the show when you were helping the lady that had cancer, and experienced one of those massages from you. I had never had anything like that and thought this was the greatest thing since sliced bread. So if someone has never had a massage, Diane, what would you suggest they learn or know ahead of time on what to expect and what to ask for?
So when I have a client come in and I get a lot that this is their very first massage, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to walk you through this. We're going to talk about everything. And I usually start with their feet because I'm actually a zoner too, and I taught reflexology. And so I call myself a foot reader because I can pick up somebody's foot, but it actually gives me a minute to connect with my client. But I can look through their foot and know what muscles I want to work on, what their issues are going on with their body, and it actually begins to build a rapport. So when I pick up their foot, it tells me we have a neck problem, we have a back problem, their sciatic nerve is giving them issues. And, and I'm like, did I miss anything? And usually they're like, wow, you got it. But it gives me a minute to kind of build a rapport. And then I just tell them, we're going to walk through this. But for you, the most important thing is going to be your neck, your shoulders, your back. And for me as a massage therapist, lots of times I will talk, this is what we're doing, this is where we're going, and this is what it looks like. So they're exactly, like you can zone me out, but usually when I'm doing a massage, it's usually a therapeutic massage, not just a relaxing one. I'm usually going, we have a neck issue, I want it better. I have a shoulder problem.
So is it possible to access a massage therapist's skills prior to experiencing them? Are there questions you can ask, or how can you tell if you're doing this for the first time or finding a massage therapist for the first time if they're any good?
Really good question. Massage therapists are so different because all of them train a little bit different. And usually it's word of mouth. And when you start hearing about a massage therapist that people love, that's usually a way that you go. A lot of people go in for massage and it's really just relaxing. And that's what they'll teach. I actually taught at the Utah College of Massage for several years. And, and everybody kind of has their own flavor of how they work. Some like deep work, some like light work. And the massage therapist really has to be in tune with who's coming. And, with me, I have so many modalities that I'm like, okay, what is your comfort zone? And if they're not comfortable with a full body massage, it's like I talk them through it. And sometimes we can do it totally clothed. It's where they're at. But most people that come in, they've had some sort of massage and they have an idea of what they want. And usually they're hurting and they're coming in for therapeutic, but sometimes people just need to relax and they just need some of the older people I work with, it's just touch. They just need their body just moving, and it makes a huge difference in how they feel about their whole body feels different.
Now, you know so many different modalities, Diane. How do you decide what modality is best for each person that hires you?
Okay. Well, a lot of times, well, I actually learned your namology. And so when I first met you, I took the book and read it, and I thought, I'm going to prove you wrong. And so I started kind of testing it out with my clients, and that taught me how to speak to them and kind of what they would like. And so when somebody comes in, I kind of get them an assessment of what's going on with you, what's your background, and sometimes I will flip everything around and go, we're going emotional with you. Most of it is body work. I start with body work, and then I see where they're at. And I tell my clients straight up, if you don't get results within the first 2 to 3 visits, I'm not the right person. And I think that with every modality, that if you're going to anybody, that you should see results within the first 2 to 3 visits and feel a difference, for the better. And
so I think that's really important to remember, that you give them more than one chance, but after 2 to 3 that you would definitely know. So really quickly, I would like to interpret your name, since you brought up namology science. and in your name, it says that you want to make the world a better place, that you have a generosity of spirit, that you have people around that have taught you how to rescue people, that you're competitive with self, and that you always want to be the best at whatever that you're doing, that you have a nice religious foundation, that you consider all of humanity your family, that you've always decided that hard work can get you anywhere that you want to go, but you're very inclusive. You like people to feel comfortable with you, that you have a nice organization, a very good memory, and also very good discernment. That also shows up in your name. One of the things I laugh at that shows up in your name, it says that you may agree to do something, but later on, if you think about it and you don't want to, you're going to get out of it. So we need to take another break. Stay tuned to Know the Name, Know the Genius in You, which is being heard on xzbn.net, an X-Zone Broadcast Network station, and on the website, knowthename.com. Now, this show is dedicated to helping people cope with the unexpected and how to heal the body. So after the break, we'll find out some more of the different ways that Diane has assisted people. Stay tuned.
How would your life change if you could develop the business and personal skills that you need in order to make more money? Do you want to learn how to achieve your big life goals faster? Then go to findhiddenmoney.com and get the Goal for It online course. The course teaches you how you can set and achieve your biggest goals while completely overcoming the roadblocks to your goals so that you can realize your dreams and imagine more success. Go to findhiddenmoney.com.
Memorable dynamic presentations are a not-so-secret weapon in the business world. Do you have a powerful message that must be shared, but you haven't found a way to deliver that message? Do you want to be known as a top public speaker who gets amazing results? Are you ready to create and deliver your powerful message? Thomas Hides can help you create and deliver your speech to get the results you desire. Visit iconquality.com.
Did you expect your business to flourish, but instead it plateaued or didn't get off the ground yet? Would you like to achieve massive goals and discover new sources of income within your business? When you're ready to experience that type of success with fast results, Cindy Hendricks is the business coach for you. Her work with entrepreneurs and business owners has been life-changing. To get you and your business where you want to be, go to imaginemoresuccess.com.
Has the fear of public speaking stalled your business or personal life? What would you give to develop and maintain supreme confidence? Have an invaluable private program to always perform at your best. Imagine how you would feel. You can have all that and so much more today with Thomas Hyde's life-changing course called Number One Fear Unleashed. Visit numberonefear.com and be liberated from your fear of public speaking.
Welcome back. I'm Sharon Lynn Wyeth, and you're listening to Know the Name, Know the Genius in You. Our guest tonight is Diane Buirley, who can be reached via email. And her email is Diane, spelt the normal way, and Buirley is spelt Buirley at yahoo.com. Diane, your baby was missing an enzyme in her blood, and it wouldn't break down lactose. I don't even know how to pronounce that. So your child could die or become handicapped by being nursed. That is one only scary thing. How did you figure that out, and how did you solve this problem?
So, so when my daughter was born, I actually had her at home, but I took her in to get a PKU test, and I just believed that was something that was important. And anyway, we had never had a PKU baby in the family, and I thought, no big deal, that's just what you do. And they called me and they said, your test came back positive. Can you bring your baby back in for another test? And I'm like, okay. And I'd actually thrown the papers away that day, and I thought, what is this galactosemia thing? I couldn't even pronounce the name either. And I read it, and I'm like, it was 1 in 50,000 babies, and they could die just from being nursed from mother's milk. And they're like, don't worry about it. It's probably just wrong. So I took her in, we retested it, and it came back positive. And so what it is an enzyme in the blood that's missing. And so my daughter it's a genetic thing where if you get a galactogene from both the mother and the father, the baby can die just from being nursed. And because they can't break down the galactose. But my daughter had one normal gene and one galactogene. And so we had to change everything. We had to change the way we ate, and it sent me into really studying nutrition. And we got rid of milk. I had a really hard time getting rid of milk. I would hide it in the back of the fridge and give her rice milk. But after a while, we finally bought goats. One day, my husband, he's like, we read about goats, and that was supposed to be good. And so one day he comes home with this mother goat and 2 babies, and I'm like, what do I do with them? So he bought me a book. And so we learned how to milk goats. And anyway,
what parents will do for their kids, right? Keep
right.
going.
Anyway, so that was a real adventure. But I started doing nutrition. I started really, at that point, like her dad was like, he had a lot of drank a lot of Dr. Pepper and Pepsi, and anyway, we weren't that healthy. But we started changing everything for our baby, and we started really being nutrition. And anyway, it totally turned us around. It turned her around, and she's 24 now, and she's completely healthy. We got her off of all milk, and if she eats dairy, she kind of will swell up a little bit, but she's fine. But it really set me on a path of learning about nutrition, what foods do, and just to save your baby's life. But as I get clients in, so a lot of my clients, I'm like, oh, you're having this problem. And so when I get clients in, they don't just get a massage or a little bit of the emotional. I usually send them home with, I believe in what's called active healing. And that means that they're actively engaged in their own healing. So when they come in, I'm going to send them home with homework. They're going to be, maybe they can try a lemon or add a few things into their diet to change something. Because if you keep doing what you've always done, you're going to get back the same results. And I'm like, you know what? You got sick. Let's change a few things and see if you can feel better. And sometimes I have to take people from a place of sometimes they believe more in their sickness than they believe in health. They can't remember what it is to be healthy again. And so I have to take them back and go, okay, I need you to close your eyes for a few minutes And for 1 minute, remember what it is to feel energetic, healthy, and vibrant. And they have to experience that because it takes 7 seconds to have a thought. It takes 17 seconds to hold that feeling, and it will stay in there. And it takes 68 seconds to change a neurotransmitter in the brain. And so, so I tell my clients, it's like the 17-second miracle can save your life. And that means, like, you know, when you start having a thought, creates a thought, creates a thought, creates a neurotransmitter. And so we have to take them to a place where they can totally believe in health again and not sickness. And I learned a lot of that because of my daughter. And so when clients show up that I don't know the answer, I go searching. And that's what I did with my daughter. And
now your mom is an herbalist. Did that help influence you also besides your daughter?
Yeah, I actually watched my mom. My youngest sister was born with a tumor in her cheek, and all of the nerves were wrapped around that tumor. And if they went and did surgery at that point, it would actually paralyze her face. And I watched my mom take herbs and put like packs on that tumor and try to shrink it down. And she actually did, she was able to shrink it down. She took her to different, you know, people that did different things. She was always looking for answers. And I guess watching my mom do that was kind of what happened with my daughter. And anyway, she shrank that down, and about first grade, she got it small enough to where the doctors actually could go in and do surgery and remove it and not paralyze her face. And she's like 35 now, and she looks great, you know.
So that's amazing. I know that your family raised their own food for a while. So how do you, if you're not able to raise your own food because of wherever you live, how do you shop in a regular grocery store? Are there things that people ought to be avoiding? Are there things on labels that you've seen do harm? You know, what would you suggest if you were telling us, and we were your clients, how to go shopping in a grocery store? What would you tell us?
Okay, so I really believe that your fruits and vegetables are your healers. And the closer you can get to nature, the better off you are. And I think really fruits, melons, and berries, I've seen people with days left to live, and those are your healers. And the vegetables are nutritious. They're going to put all your nutrition in. Things are changing, and so a lot of stuff now is like sprayed and pesticides and stuff. So make sure you're cleaning your vegetables really good. Like you can put them in a vinegar rinse and to try to get off that as much as you can. And I believe you really having gratitude for your food, because sometimes you can't grow your own food. I think when you grow a garden, that's like a form of meditation, or it's connecting with the earth, and the food will actually start to attune to you to bless you. But when you can't do that and you have to go to the grocery store and get things, I think if you wash it really good and take a minute to have gratitude, because somewhere, someplace, that food was planted and it came to you in this exact way, in this moment. And when you can have gratitude for it, it will attune to you and be, you know, it will actually support your system. Because the food isn't going to be perfect, but it's a lot better than if you didn't have it. I think gratitude goes a long ways. But if you can stay away from, you know, like the stuff in boxes and a lot of the preservatives and things like that. And so I just tell my clients, do the best you can. It's impossible to be perfect, but have a lot of gratitude and love for what you're doing. Because if you're afraid of oh no, I did it wrong, I'm going to do it wrong, your body will respond more to the fear than the love. And sometimes we just, you know, want ice cream. Like my daughter, sometimes she just wants ice cream.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. You know, that's the whole difference. They've done studies after studies on what assisted living centers do well and which ones don't. And the difference was that the people that were there got ice cream, and then the center would do well. And when ice cream was not served every night, then the center did not. But anyway, go ahead. So what do we do with our ice cream?
Yeah, so just do the best you can. Do mostly good, and if you have a piece of chocolate cake or you have ice cream every now and then, awesome. Because I think if you stay in the middle and you do the best that you can and you love it and you're really in tune with how your body feels, because if you're going to eat ice cream and you feel gross, then that tells you like, well, maybe I won't eat ice cream next time. Or you know that when you do, you might not feel as well as when you ate fruit. And you just do the best you can with what you have. You're not going to be perfect, but if you're doing it because you're afraid that if I don't do all this perfectly, I'm going to get cancer and die, you will. Because your body will always respond to the fear, not the love. Because you weren't doing it because you love the green salad. You love the gardening. You did it because you were afraid. And the body will respond to the fear, not the love. So sometimes just staying in the middle and just noticing, yeah, I didn't feel as good when I ate that candy, but you know, I love that chocolate chip cookie, but I feel better when I'm eating the green food.
Sounds right. We need to take our last break. I do want to mention that John Robbins, the heir of Baskin and Robbins Ice Cream, wrote a book on Diet for a New America that goes through exactly how to eat appropriately. And so stay tuned to Know the Name, Know the Genius in You on xzbn.net and knowthename.com. Now, after the break, we're going to find out what Diane has in her name that has assisted her that you just might have in your name as well. Stay tuned.
I am Dr. Carl O'Helvey, founder, president of a new cancer foundation focusing on evidence-based physical, mental, and spiritual interventions, including natural cancer cures, prayer, meditation, affirmations, nutrition, and other related holistic cancer prevention and cure modalities. These are used in cancer education, research, and financing care. I ask for your help to continue this important work by donating at www.holisticcancerfoundation.com.
They are here, and they've been here for thousands of years, making their presence known in the shadows. They might be seen by a lonely motorist on a deserted road late at night, or by a frightened and confused husband in the bedroom he is sharing with his wife. But who are they? What do they want? Why are they here? Perhaps most concerning, has the government been aware of their presence all along? The new book by Ellie Marzulli, UFO Disclosure, the 70-Year Cover-Up Exposed, delves into the world of UFOs. Can full disclosure be soon? Order now and receive a free hour and 37-minute DVD on the UFO phenomenon. UFOs are real. Get both the book and the DVD, a $40 value, for only $19.99. To order your book and DVD today, go to lamarzulli.net. That's LAMARZULLI.net.
Christopher Fulton is a survivor of the national security state. All he wanted to do was preserve history when he acquired a Cartier watch from the estate of President Kennedy's personal secretary. But that simple act set off a terrible chain reaction. He was pursued by the U.S. Justice Department and the FBI, thrust into the middle of the U.S. government's Assassination Records Review Board, even monitored and pursued by the Russian government. All because that Cartier watch was the missing link of evidence, a timepiece worn by JFK that fateful day in Dallas, a link resulting in Christopher being incarcerated and attacked for 9 years years because he opened a hidden chapter in history. The intriguing journey outlined fully in Christopher Fulton's memoir, The Inheritance, is available now through TrineDay.com or Amazon.com. The Inheritance, Poisoned Fruit of JFK's Assassination by Christopher and Michelle Fulton is a must-read, an incredible tale of how easily our own government can overrule justice. The Inheritance, Poisoned Fruit of JFK's Assassination.
Welcome back. I'm Sharon Lynn Wyeth, and you're listening to Know the Name, Know the Genius in You. Our guest tonight is Diane Buirley, who you can email. It is her name at yahoo.com, and she spells Buirley B-U-I-R-L-E-Y. Now, Diane has taken her skills to a level where she's able to heal almost any ache and pain that somebody has in their body. And I can definitely testify to when I had sciatic nerve or when I had back pain or whatever, I could get on Diane's table and you come away just feeling absolutely marvelous, like that never occurred in the body. She's absolutely incredible with all the modalities that she knows. So she has taken her skills to a level where she can heal that physical body as long as you're willing to do what she asks you to do. So Diane, I'd like to go through different modalities that you know and ask you to state what the benefits of those modalities are and why a person would want to experience that modality. In other words, if what is wrong, then you would go have this modality done and exactly what that modality does. Now, there's a lot of them, so you're going to have to be fairly concise because I'd like to get through some of the things that you know how to do and how, some of us may not have ever heard of some of these, let alone know how they benefit us. So the first one is body code.
So the body code goes after emotions. I do the emotion code and the body code, but the body code picks up different places in the body where there are trapped emotions. And I like to do that right before a massage because then my massage will work better if I can release those trapped emotions.
Okay, and then you talked about the emotion code. How is that emotion code different than the body code?
The body code is actually it's more it takes in more the muscles and the bones and the alignments, where the emotion is just like I have an emotion that was when I was age 5, and it was because my friends were mean to me, and so it just kind of stored in the body as an energy. And when I can't release a muscle, there's an emotion attached to it. So I'm like, well, let's just get rid of that emotion. And then the massage flows so much better.
Okay. How about a bioelectric massage? What's that?
That's the one where I actually run electricity through my fingers. And I go up the zones of the body and I go horizontally and vertically. And it basically goes in with a sinusoidal frequency. It beats 8,300 beats per second. And it tells the muscles to relax and release. And it basically puts endorphins back into the body, and where there's tight muscles or nerves, it tells them to relax. It works really good with people with MS and fibromyalgia and broken bones and scar tissue, everything.
Okay, that happens to be one of my favorites. Okay, the next one is, these are all things, everybody, that Diane knows how to do. What about reflexology? What is that and what's the benefit?
So I pick up the foot, and it's with the feet and hands, and I can basically go through and tell in 10 minutes where I'm going to spend my massage by the tightness on the feet or on the hands. And I can send the client home and say, okay, just rub this place on your hands, and this will help your neck. And so I can send them home with a tool that they can put in their tool bag that when I'm not there, they can do something to help themselves.
Okay. What about zoning?
Zoning's really similar. It's reflexology is more of like relaxing the foot, where zoning's more like you can actually follow the arteries and blood flows and more the lymph flow. It's more in depth, and it's usually just the feet. Where reflexology includes the hands and the feet, and it's not as in depth. It's just kind of a lighter part of that, but zoning is more in depth, and people can relax headaches and things just through the feet or the back. without ever touching another place on the body, only touching the foot.
Okay, we talked a little bit about the benefits at the beginning of the show of cranial sacral that I became an absolute believer in when I watched my child get her hearing back, all from manipulations on the head. But what is cranial sacral?
So cranial sacral is the cranial rhythm, and it's the flow of the cerebral spinal fluid that goes around the brain and down into the sacrum area. And you can actually hold those places, tune into the wave, and work with the membranes up in the head. It works really good with people who've had concussions, or they've had falls, or they've thrown their rhythms off, or even emotional stuff. If they've had a head injury, I will use cranial sacral. It's a very gentle way of seeing how the bones are supposed to be in alignment, and they actually will readjust the flow of the body.
Okay, what about detoxification?
That basically that goes with my nutrition. And so I studied a lot with nutrition, and then I jumped on a plane and went back to Florida and studied with a guy that's a detoxification specialist. And sometimes I get clients that have a lot of inflammation in their tissues and they're not feeling good. And I'm like, okay, we need to detoxify what's going on. And so I'll send them home with, I'm doing some lemons or some grapes or some fruits or different things that will help them detox that inflammation out of their body so they feel better.
Now, I know that you've read all of the Anthony Williams books, so I'm just going to throw in celery juice is also a great detoxification. Okay, still going down the list, iridology.
Iridology, it gives me another hint. I can look at their eyes or take pictures of their eyes and actually map everything out from their eyes. But I like to kind of look really fast at their eyes and go, oh, we have a lymph problem, and, doing some skin brushing. But you can see little spots in their eyes, and you can see the colon. The eyes reflect everything going on into the body. It's just another modality that will just kind of tell me, am I on the right track? So if you're not finding answers one way through the feet or the hands, I can look at the eyes to see if that was correct.
Okay. What about BEST, B-E-S-T, standing for bioelectric synchronization technique?
Okay, yeah. So that one's the brain body one. That was the one I used for my uncle, when I can take the feet, I can test an emotion, and we're actually bypassing the conscious brain, going right to the unconscious brain. And it actually repatterns the brain to the body. And it was developed by a chiropractor, and that is the only thing he does is he has them think a thought, do an eye position, hold a breath, and it actually repatterns the brain pattern to the body, and the body will readjust itself. So he stopped doing adjustments. He just did that, and people get up and walk and have no pain.
Amazing. Reiki.
Reiki is an energy technique, and sometimes when I have someone say they've been in the hospital, you can't really touch them, you can go into their energy field and basically put a Reiki energy. It's just basically you're filtering an energy of healing, of just telling the body to heal, because you can't go really deep, but you can work with their energy field.
Okay. What about Karma New Mastership?
That's just advanced Reiki. So I've just gone up through all the layers.
Okay. What about the SMT, Scandinavian Mobilization?
So that one actually, that was developed by, it comes from Scandinavia, and it's kind of shaking the muscles back into place. And so when I went to massage school and we did deep tissue with everything, I had to unlearn everything to do this one. And I have found that it works every single time on everybody. So it's like you can take the muscle and you can just basically shake it back into place, and the nerve actually realigns. It's working with the nerves and the tendons and the joints, and everything kind of realigns very gently. And if it doesn't, then I'll look at a different technique, but it usually always works.
Okay. What about what you call the NEW, or the New Health Practitioner?
The Nest Health. And so Nest, the Nest Health, that is a scan that I do. It's all on quantum physics. And I love science, and I love the body field. And so what it does is it actually scans the body field, and it scans like 150 things really fast on what's going on with the body. And so just the body field. So it's not telling you that, oh, you have cancer, you have it, you're sick or something, but it will basically say that, maybe the energy going into your liver is a little sluggish. And so maybe if we use this frequency, we can open up that energy, and your liver can go back to the original blueprint, the way God made it. And so they have these drops that are called infraceuticals, that is information going back to the body, and it's trying to give the body back the information to tell the body to go back to the original blueprint through quantum physics.
Just absolutely amazing. And we didn't even get through half of all the different techniques that you know, Diane. Thank you so much for taking your time to be on the show tonight with us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Be prepared, surprised, and so very pleased if you are one of the lucky people that get to experience Diane Buirley's work. Again, you can contact her at dianebuirley@yahoo.com. It's Buirley. And she travels around the Northwest area. So from Utah, Idaho, Oregon, Washington, Colorado, all that whole area. She travels around because different people sponsor her. So if you're living anywhere in those areas or traveling to those areas, make sure that you take time to get one of these very reasonably priced massages. Now, Diane's name excels at being able to sacrifice herself for the good of the whole. This is found in the letters, the IA. And if your name has an IA in it, then you too require time for yourself to be able to keep learning so that you can keep sacrificing, giving into the ones around you. Do you know where your genius lies? I'm Sharon Lynn Wyeth, host of the radio show, Know the Name, Know the Genius in You, which is heard every day at xzbn.net radio. Just come check out our schedule so that you can find the show again. And remember, once you know the name, you know all about the person. This is Sharon Lynn Wyeth signing off.
If you are looking for a safe, zero-calorie, natural option to the harmful artificial sweeteners on the market today, Just Like Sugar is what you're looking for. Just Like Sugar is a wonderful natural alternative for those health-conscious people who choose a calorie-restricted diet with a great, pure, sweet flavor that tastes just like sugar. Just Like Sugar is a great natural option for people suffering from diabetes and may be useful in restricted diet programs where standard sugars are not allowed and does not cause a laxative effect of some other sweeteners. Just Like Sugar comprises a perfect blend of chicory root fiber, natural calcium, natural vitamin C, and Just Like Sugar's sweetness comes from the natural flavors from the peel of the orange. Just Like Sugar is a natural alternative to harmful artificial sweeteners and will change the way that you believe all natural sweetener products taste. Just Like Sugar is available at your local Whole Foods markets, Wild Oats markets, Henry's, Sun Harvest, and many other fine natural food stores in the U.S., Canada, and worldwide. They are here, and they've been here for thousands of years, making their presence known in the shadows. They might be seen by a lonely motorist on a deserted road late at night, or by a frightened and confused husband in the bedroom he is sharing with his wife. But who are they? What do they want? Why are they here? Perhaps most concerning, has the government been aware of their presence all along? The new book by Ellie Marzulli, UFO Disclosure, the 70-year cover-up exposed, delves into the world of UFOs. Can full disclosure be soon? Order now and receive a free hour and 37-minute DVD on the UFO phenomenon. UFOs are real. Get both the book and the DVD, a $40 value, for only $19.99. To order your book and DVD today, go to lamarzulli.net. That's LAMARZULLI.net.
You have heard of the X Zone? Now watch it on Simul TV, plus 500 video games, live TV channels, free video on demand, worldwide, and more. Does this sound like tomorrow's television? Well, it is, but you can have it today, right now. It is Simul TV. Simul TV offers what the others only wish they could provide. 15 exclusive channels like X Zone, sci-fi, and horror. We are worldwide. No other provider offers that. 500 built-in video games. No need to have an extra expensive system. We have them included. Free video on demand, live streaming events from around the world, interactive online network, and much more. Tomorrow's TV today. Simul TV. Sound too good to be true? Well, it's not. You can have Simul TV today. Sign up at simultv.com. Do it today.